The movie begins as a young woman, Alex, boards a boat going to an island in Athens. It is clear that she fears water because she can't swim. And when asked, she says that no one told her that her destination was an island. On the island, she applies for a hostess position at a restaurant. When she meets the manager, Max Webster, it is revealed that Alex ought to have arrived on the island the previous week. She explains to Max that she had traveled from Barcelona, crossing Slovenia, Bosnia, Serbia, and Macedonia to get to the island. She recounts how her bag, which included her phone and passport, was stolen in Milan. She tells Max that she didn't mean to be late in reporting for work. He gives her terrible news, saying that he had hired another person in her place since she didn't show up. She pleads with him to give her any job because at the moment, she has spent her last cash to get a new passport and travel to the island, and she has nowhere else to go. Max hardly pays attention to her plight because he too is under stress. His restaurant is opening in the evening, and there are a lot of expectations to meet. He tells her that all she complains about are her problems. She starts to curse him out in Spanish, but abruptly stops, shocked when he calmly responds in Spanish. He tells her that long before she used expletives on him, he had hinted that though the hostess position is no longer available, there's an opening for one more server. Alex is embarrassed but pleased. She begins work immediately and thrives even though she doesn't speak a word of Greek. That night, at the close of work, Alex has no place to rest her head. Max overhears her pleading with colleagues to crash at their place. He then gives her a spare room close to the restaurant that she can use until she gets back on her feet. Though the room is small, Alex is profoundly grateful, and she expresses this. Before Max leaves, he tells her he's at a cabin across the beach, and that if she needs anything, she shouldn't hesitate to let him know. The next day, Alex wakes up to seeing Max at work in the vegetable garden. She goes to help him, but he is already finished. He uses the opportunity to give her more orientation about her new job. He tells her that the restaurant is mostly active on summer nights, and that means he will let some staff go during the fall. He tells her that Mondays are days off. He also tells her that he knows she may get bored seeing that she's young, beautiful, and didn't get the job she wanted. He then tells her that when she wants to leave, she should give him 2 weeks' notice. Alex seems pleased that he calls her beautiful. In the next scene, though she looks very uncomfortable, she goes on a boat ride with some colleagues, Chico and Ilya. Since it is daytime, they are less busy. She distracts herself by asking about Max, but they tell her that nobody knows the boss, as he likes to keep to himself and refrains from mingling. Chico says he does it for chick appeal, as some girls dig the silent type. Ilya speculates that he may be gay. Chico then concludes that their boss is just odd. The trio goes on sightseeing, and Alex enjoys the view. When she thanks Chico, who seemed to have organized this, Chico attributes the praise to Max. Alex takes note of this. She brings Max appreciation flowers when she returns and kisses him on the cheek in the presence of others. The next day while shopping, she spots Max from afar and follows him. She trails him to a quiet place and discovers where he has his prayers. That night, there's a Greek wedding. Ilya and an older man are the celebrants. Alex asks Chico how he is holding up because she knows that he and Ilya are in love. He says he is fine because he knows she now has money and security, and that it takes away the pressure to provide for her. And true to his word, in the next scene, Max spots Chico and Ilya hooking up in a dark room, while the groom is seated drunk at the party. Meanwhile, Alex tries to make moves on Max. She invites him to the dance floor, but he declines. Then she invites him for an after party, but he also declines. She is hurt by this, and it is visible to Max and the other workers. The next night, she grumpily works, but Max pretends not to notice. Before she leaves, she asks Max what she can do for him to notice her. In response, he offers her food, as she had been working all night and didn't have time to eat. This implies that though he is reserved, he has been paying keen attention to her. This warms Alex up a little. He does the meal while she prepares the table. They spend quality time that night getting to know each other, but it is clear from their interactions that Max is holding back. They go back to his cabin, and Alex wants to ride his stallion. But Max is resistant to this and sends her home in a polite manner. The next day, while Alex ponders about his closed-off behavior, Max takes her to see a part of the island, which she describes as breathtaking. He offers her the job of hostess and says he wants her to work with him full-time, year in and year out. She then asks him if it's a professional proposal or a personal request. He replies that it is professional. She doesn't seem pleased, but says she will think about it. They part on a solemn note, and work goes on as scheduled. That night, Max visits Alex. She is pleasantly surprised by this because Max doesn't often visit the mainland. They kiss and make love. He expresses his adoration for her body, and she delights in his own. But when she asks about a scar running across his chest, he replies that it is a souvenir from Mexico. When she presses him further, he replies that it is a story for another day. It is clear that he is hiding something, but Alex doesn't mind. She figures that they are just getting to know each other. Fall arrives quickly, and the lovebirds have plenty more time to spend. They swim at the beach, go picnicking, and get to know more about each other. During one of their conversations, Alex reveals how she almost drowned, which explains her fear of water. Max then asks her what waits for people on the other side. Alex replies that she doesn't know the specifics, but she's certain that it is nice. In the following days, Alex starts living with Max. Their daily lives are filled with passion and glee. One day whilst Alex is arranging the house, she stumbles on a picture hidden among books. It is a picture of a young Max with a woman and a young boy. Alex is saddened by this because she thinks it's Max's family and that she is a side piece. She doesn't go to the restaurant that day, and Max is worried. When he checks on her, he finds her packing her things. They have a heated conversation about the picture, which was mostly Alex screaming her head off. Max breaks a chair to get her attention. He then says it's not what she thinks, and that if she loves him, she should trust him. With this, he leaves and asks her to join him at the restaurant. Alex is stunned by his violence towards the chair and crumbles into tears. At night, they properly talk about their issues. He explains that he had cohabited with the woman, Christine, many years ago, but they were toxic together, and it affected their son, Matthew. He said he left them because at the time he felt it was the right thing to do, but now he regrets leaving his son. When Alex asks, he tells her that he hasn't contacted his 32-year-old son in a very long time. He then tells Alex that he has secrets and a past just like her, but that she should be patient with him, as he is not very sanguine. He begs her to give him time to ease into opening up. Alex nods in understanding. But it doesn't take long for her to discover more inconsistencies in what he has told her about herself. For instance, he denies knowing how to play the clarinet, but Alex spies on him one day and discovers that he, in fact, plays masterfully. Because of this, she lies to Max about her schedule and then sneaks to confide in Chico as she worries. She tells Chico about her suspicions, but Chico tries to calm her fears. Max spots Alex with Chico and he sneakily follows them. But Alex catches him. Later that evening, she confronts him, but he blindsides her with his own suspicions. He thinks she and Chico have the hots for each other and tells her to make her pick, as he doesn't want to get hurt. Alex declares that she wants Max. They make up with kisses and hot loving, and she teases him for being jealous. The next day, while she's at work, Chico signals for her to meet him for a quick briefing. He tells her that Max is a musical child prodigy. Chico further gives her an old album containing Max's music that he managed to find. Alex takes it without a word and plays it at the restaurant. Max is so shocked to hear this that he didn't even realize that he had injured himself with a knife. At the close of work, as he confronts Alex about it, he pieces together that it is Chico who gave her the record. Max goes after an unsuspecting Chico and violently warns him to stay away from himself and Alex. He ends his friendship with Chico. Max comes back to see a crying Alex, who warns that he better start talking or she will walk. They sort things out as usual. In the main, he apologizes for not being ready to share so much. But he tells her about his past as a prodigy. His name was Paul back then. Later that week, Chico sends someone to call Alex for him. She meets him by the dock, and he tells her that he is leaving for good because there's nothing on the island for him anymore. He had earlier broken up with Ilya because he could no longer stand the thought of sharing her, and Max had barred him from ever coming close again. Alex is saddened by this news, but Chico doesn't stop there. He airs his suspicions that Max is hiding so much more, pointing out Max's violent tendencies. The two hug as they're about to part ways, and Chico makes a move to kiss Alex, but Alex turns her face away. Max, who had been searching for Alex earlier, stumbles upon them and witnesses the exchange, but he doesn't react in any way. Instead, his relationship with Alex grows deeper and more loving. Perhaps it is because he has confirmed beyond doubt that she is truly in love with him. When winter comes, the other workers leave the island, and Max and Alex are alone. One day, while Alex is taking a shower, Chico calls. When she doesn't pick up, Chico sends a voicemail telling her that he has discovered something dark about Max. He gives her a time and location and tells her to come alone. Since Alex is in the shower, it is Max who hears the message and then deletes it. Max is utterly disturbed by the voicemail. On D-Day, he confronts Chico. Chico worries that Max may have hurt Alex, as he did a certain person at the Malibu Canyon. Upon hearing this, Max slashes Chico's throat and leaves him to the angels. Then he goes back to Alex, as if nothing has happened. A few days later, Chico is reported missing, and the police are investigating his disappearance. Max is smart and suave, and evades any type of attention. But Alex notices that Max is not at all concerned about Chico, and this makes her furious. One night, as she's trying to reach Chico's phone, she expresses that she loves him out of frustration. Max hears this and is upset, but she clarifies that it is platonic love she means. He retorts and says something mean to her. Alex runs away from him and goes to the shore. She keeps trying to reach Chico until she gets to a spot where she hears his phone ringing. She keeps calling and follows the sound until she stumbles on Chico's corpse. Max tells her that she should have stayed put. She pleads with him to spare her, and he responds that he would never hurt her. Alex runs away, and he chases after her. They enter into a struggle, but he quickly overpowers her and ties her to their bed. He force-feeds her a sleeping pill. She quickly becomes unconscious, and he uses that time to destroy any possible means of escape she may have. After which, he unties her and tries to have a heart-to-heart conversation with her. She pretends she's thirsty and asks for more water. When he's distracted, she hits him on the head and runs away. Her only means of escape is to attempt to swim off the island, but she can't swim. However, she tries because she would rather drown than spend 1 minute more with Max's filthy soul. Of course, she almost drowns but is rescued by Max. Max tenderly takes care of her. While he serves her breakfast, she stealthily takes a small knife from the table, but Max confronts her about it. While they kiss one last time, he lets her stab him. After which he goes to meet Chico on the other side. The movie ends as Alex burns the house and his corpse.